Listen to me, whoever you are. No one can control the symbiotes. No one!
I need not control the symbiote, Spider-Man.
Doc Ock?
We will work as one. It is a new world. Humanity needs the skills that my technology will give them. Symbiosis is the only way.
I should have known a reformed Doc Ock was too good to be true.
A perfect world order. Those who cannot share my vision will be crushed by it.
Speaking of crushed, it's showtime, freaks. Ooh, I smell bad, symbiote, and it ain't me.
Bring it on, Grandpa!
Alone at last.
Let us end this, Spider-Man. You will never get past my barrier, Spider-Man.
Oh my god! Otto Octavius was the villain this whole time! How could Dr. Octopus be the bad guy when the cutscenes didn't bother to hide his voice, and they clearly showed his robotic tentacles? Who could have saw this coming? So yes, Dr. Octopus, as well as Carnage, the other bad symbiote villain of Spider-Man, are the masterminds behind this, and now we gotta fight Octopus, who's hiding behind a barrier. And this contraption's weird, because first off, you have to keep running, because every now and then Octopus is going to shoot his tentacles at you, and as long as you just keep moving, you'll generally dodge them. But you can't attack him until the barrier's gone. How does it go away? Well, after a short period of time, these switches come down from the ceiling, and then you activate them, and it separates the power from the force field until eventually it gets completely drained. At that point, I put on the web gloves, I start punching out Octopus, and the barrier will come back, and we'll have to repeat this all over again. By the way, I just picked up a comic book. As soon as the barrier gets taken away for the first time, and you beat up Octopus, when it comes back, the comic book will be there for a very, very, very short period of time. If I was like maybe a second or 2 seconds late, that comic would have disappeared. So the comic book shows up after you take out the first barrier. And, yeah, so keep an eye out for that, and if you can't find it after taking out the first barrier, maybe you want to reload the save, reload this level. Because if you push pause, and then you just go to restart, you can just begin the fight whenever. But, Octopus gets a little bit more slam-happy as the fight goes on. The more you drain his health, he doesn't just do, like, these little lunges. He doesn't just stick his arms out. He'll actually repeatedly smash where you are over and over and over again. Until eventually he stops, of course. And again, I just put on the web gloves, I beat him down while I have any free time. Sometimes I can two-cycle this boss fight, but I didn't manage to do it in this time. I think actually using web balls is kind of faster too. Like, I think you can use web balls to drain his health really quickly, but I think having the gloves is a little bit more reliable, you know. So I don't know why this force field is constantly lowering the switches. Seems like a bad design, especially if you're the guy using it to protect himself, but yeah, all you're doing is you're dodging his tentacles by constantly moving to the left or right. The force fields won't hurt you, luckily. They don't actually damage you. They won't shock you or anything. So when you have to get to something beyond a force field, you can jump over it. And when the force field's worn off, you just beat him down.
I am defeated.
Not end this way.
One down, one to go. Wonder how Venom's doing. Eddie, are you alright? Talk to me. Wake up, Brock.
Look out. Behind you.
You say? That's a sonic bubble in the middle of the room. Seeing as how the only two things that symbiotes hate are fire and sonics, I'm guessing Ock made it just in case Carnage tried to double-cross him.
What color do you bleed, Spider-Man?
Well, wasn't that nice of Dr. Octopus to create this sound device in the middle of the room? Because symbiotes can only be defeated by fire and loud noises, and so you try damaging Carnage, you can't. It's not like Venom where you can punch him and drain his health a little bit. No, you have to send him into the bubble, at which point his health will get drained, but the bubble will wear off, So there's this cool little cheese you can do where you can just like keep sticking him with webbing, keep tying him up with webbing, and you can keep him in place as long as you want, and every time the wave of sound comes back, Carnage will just have to take it because there's nothing he can do about it. You can hold triangle to like tie him there, but it wastes a lot of webbing, so I just repeatedly tap triangle to like stick the webbing on him, then stick the webbing on him, then stick the webbing on him, and that's pretty much it. An easy way to get him into the bubble in the first place, you can grab him and then kick him in. I would recommend zipping him with web first, so he flinches like he's doing now, and then it makes it easier to grab him and then kick him in. But yeah, this boss, not really well thought out, considering you can just spam web and just keep him in here and cheese the fight really easily. See ya, Cletus Cassidy, you crazy nut job.
You are a born loser, Cletus Cassidy. Like I told Mysterio, no one can control the symbiotes. No one I've met, anyway. Take a breather, Spidey. It's over. Well, just another day in the life. Whoa! What the? Is that Hawk? This is gonna blow. I gotta get out of here.
Alrighty folks, now we're at the final boss of the whole entire game, and you cannot defeat Monster Ock by punching him or shooting webbing at him. All we're really doing is we're escaping from this base while he chases us. And by the way, I just picked up a comic book. That one's very easy to find because it's literally the first corner of the chase, so it's right as soon as the chase starts up. And also there was a comic book in the middle of the sound area when I was fighting Carnage, so you may have seen me pick up that during the fight as well. But we have one more comic to collect, and it starts happening as soon as the camera perspective changes. Because for the most part, we have to face the camera as if it was like Crash Bandicoot. We're running towards the camera like we're being chased by a boulder or something. But, you know, in this case, we're getting chased by a monstrous octopus. A symbiote-infested Dr. Octopus. And if he catches up with you, you die. Like, there's a little bit of leeway where he can get sort of close to you, like here, but if you stay with him too long, and I think in hard mode it just happens like right away, but might be wrong about that, but you know, if you stay with him too long, if his icon gets close to your face on the top there a little bit too long, then he just instant kills you, and that's no good. Even if you have cheats on, or a specific costume in the game that gives you invincibility, even if you have invincibility, this will end you. So I remember when I was a kid, I cheesed Spider-Man my first time playing because I wasn't very good at video games, or at least I didn't want to try. And I had invincibility on, and then I got to this level, and I couldn't beat it for the longest time when I was a kid, because even with invincibility, if he catches up to you, you're dead. So that's no good. But you require a lot of R1 zip-ups every time you're coming up to a ceiling. Your spider sense will go off every time you need to zip to the ceiling, every time you need to go to a higher spot. Like, it's going now. There's my zip-up. That's how I know. Like, the spider sense always warns you, you don't want to crawl up the wall. That's going to take too long. So just zip up every time you're in one of the areas where the walls turn bronze, you know? The shutters and stuff won't close until you're past them. I've never seen them close before you got past them anyway. That was the last comic book, so we're done with the comic books. And just keep spinning your webs. Don't just run. He will catch up to you if you run. You want to jump, you want to shoot your webbing, because it gives you a lot more speed. And of course, whenever you're in the bronze hallway, zip up. Your spider sense will warn you. It takes a lot of, you know, practice, because you got to remember how to configure the controls and how to handle the situation. But I've gotten used to it, and I can do it in my sleep nowadays.
Move it!
Oh no, Ock! After all that, it was the symbiote that saved Ock. You've got to be kidding. Perfect end to a perfect day. Huh? What the?
Good thing Black Cat gave me a call, son.
Looks like just in time.
Hey, Spidey, can you get us Captain America's autograph?
Oh, brother.
Punisher, do you have any threes?
Go fish! So, nice of you to join us for once, Spidey.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was out saving the world. Beating you guys at cards ought to be pretty easy.
Your spider sense won't save you here.
Look who's talking, Daredevil. You've been looking at my cards all night.
I don't need to look at your cards, Punisher. Your bluffs are so obvious.
Okay. Let's keep this a nice, friendly, clean game.
Who keeps inviting this guy?
Hey, will you guys keep it down?
Hey, loosen up, kids! I'm on fire!
Wait, hold on. Time out. All of you guys were working together, and you still couldn't take down Spider-Man?
It's not my fault. Doc Ock's plan was horrible. Everyone knows you can't control the symbiote.
Hey, wait! So, I'm a rhino, you're a scorpion, and he's an octopus. What's a Mysterio?
So, Rhino, you got any threes?
Hey! Hey, I got a bingo! Ha ha! You guys think you're so smart, but I won! Ha! Who's your daddy, Doc Ock? Ha ha ha! Victory is mine! You're always laughing at me, but who's crying now, huh? Ha 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 ha! Wait a minute, I made a mistake.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is Spider-Man for the PlayStation, Nintendo 64, Dreamcast, and PC. And there was a question mark at the end of the end. And yes, this game did have a sequel, by the way. It was called Spider-Man 2 Enter Electro, also for the PlayStation 1. I don't think it was on the N64. I'm not sure if it was on Dreamcast or PC. I didn't really follow the sequel all that much. I played it for a little bit. And I just remember thinking I liked the first one better. You know, I have this long history of liking games a lot, but then I didn't really like the sequel as much, you know. I already have lots of people who are like, do Fear Effect 2, do Pac-Man World 2, do The Force Unleashed 2, do Spider-Man 2. That's what I'm going to be hearing now, you know. Well, to be fair, there is a great Spider-Man 2 for the GameCube, PlayStation 2, and Xbox, but that's based off of the movies. Spider-Man 2 Enter Electro isn't based off the movies, and I like Spider-Man the movie, the game, more than Spider-Man 2 Enter Electro, so I don't know. But this game is fantastic, ladies and gentlemen. Really great sense of humor. I like the fact that its draw distance is really nice for, like, PlayStation graphics. You know, simple controls, some pretty fun boss fights. It's a big part of my childhood. It's a big part of growing up a Spider-Man fan, you know, because I watched the 90s cartoon, I played this video game, and then the Tobey Maguire movies and all the other stuff happened, and that's how I got real acquainted with Spider-Man. This game was awesome to me. You know, I liked it a hell of a lot more than Maximum Carnage on Super Nintendo. I liked it a lot more than the Spider-Man... I think it was just called Spider-Man on Super Nintendo. I know there was a Spider-Man game on Super Nintendo, though, but... it's fantastic. It's fantastic. And of course, what I haven't shown you yet, which I am going to be showing in an extra video, is that there are tons of extra costumes, including one that Spider-Man is wearing during this credits sequence. The symbiote suit. This is the black suit Spider-Man, and there's a whole bunch. There's like a Spider-Man 2099, Ben Reilly Spider-Man, the Scarlet Spidey, the Bagman Spider-Man, where after he got the symbiote off, he got on a Fantastic Four costume, and then he put a paper bag over his head so he could get home safely without anyone recognizing him. That's a costume in this game. And that was actually a trend that kind of carried over with a whole bunch of Spider-Man games. Every Spider-Man game since this one would include alternate costumes and comics to collect and stuff like that. And I feel like this game was kind of the pioneer, you know? It came from the guys who made the Tony Hawk games, and I love the Tony Hawk games as well. I might have to do a Let's Play on Tony Hawk's Underground one day, because that has a story mode, and I wonder how well that's held up. Because, you know, that game came out a long time ago. That game came out like 11, 12 years ago now. But either way, this is one of my favorite superhero games, although it's been outclassed by a lot of Spider-Man games nowadays. Other Spider-Man games have better combat, better camera control, certainly. And, but it's a big part of my childhood. I love the soundtrack, I love the cutscenes, the sense of humor is so great. And, it's really, really fun, really, really enjoyable. So, I hope you enjoyed this playthrough, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed seeing Spider-Man for the PlayStation /N64/Dreamcast/ etc. But stay tuned, I still have an extra video coming up. I will be showing off What If mode, all the bonus costumes, the character viewer, and all that jazz. So, Excelsior!